Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, welcome. I am Nienke, and I'm quite new to this whole YouTube thing, but please bear with me. This will be the first wrap-up video that I'll be filming. I did a TBR video at the beginning of June, but because of everything that happened, as you could have seen or might have known in the video before this that was posted, I wasn't able to film that wrap-up video. So hopefully everything will work out for the month of August. So I'm gonna do a July wrap-up now. And then there's obviously gonna be an August TBR and then an August wrap-up. I hope that we can, finish that off and see how well I do with the TBR. Because even though I had a June TBR, obviously, I did read 2 books of that TBR, and I usually pick 4 books because I'm very much a mood reader. So yeah, I did finish them in July because obviously I was in a hospital, so I didn't really get to read a lot. But yeah, I have my Goodreads open to show you guys what score I gave them, because my memory is so bad is that I've read a book and then I gave them a review and then I just forget about the review. I do remember the book, but I remember it better when I restart the book or when I continue with the series, basically. I guess that was everything you guys need to know. Oh, and if you hear weird sounds on the background, that's because they're doing renovations on my building that I live in right now. Mostly because it's just really necessary. But I've tried to close up everything, but it's quite hot in my apartment, so I know I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I'm sorry, but I've tried to close everything to make sure that there's not a whole lot of noise coming in. I have my back door open, but otherwise it's just very, very, very hot in here. So yeah, let's get started with this July wrap up, because the books are here. Obviously, we are still in July when I'm filming this because I'm pre-recording some stuff because I'm leaving at the beginning of August. So I just wanted to film this wrap up, film the TBR and everything, and then we'll see what happens later. So I am currently still reading 2 books, and it's only the 21st of July, so I'm sure I'll be finishing these 2 still within July, and then the rest that I'll be reading and starting will probably be finished in August, so you'll see that back in the August wrap up, basically. So yeah, these 2 are like fiction and non-fiction. They're like literary genre something kind of things, which the first one is Weird, I know, Weird Fox. I'm so sorry about the title, but yeah, it's Weird Fox by Lynn Tillman, and it's basically a novella with like stories about hookups that this girl did and her experience with it and what that's like. And I don't know why I bought it, but I really like the way it looks and everything. So I've read the first 3 stories in here, and it's interesting. And it's only, it's a novella. It's like, it has, how many stories? 12 stories, 13 stories. And it's only 108 pages, so, and I'm already like in it. So I'll definitely finish this one. I don't know, it's like a 2-star read right now. Maybe I'll change if you want to know, you can always follow me on Goodreads. It's just my first and last name, I believe, if you want to follow me. Yeah, just my first and last name on Goodreads. Then you can always see what reviews I give the books. So that's the first one I'm currently still reading. The other one is, let me tell you what I mean. Oh my god. Something in my eye. Damn. Oh my god. Makeup, guys. Okay, the second one, or the current one I'm still reading, is Let Me Tell You What I Mean by Joan Didion. This is like a non-fiction, basically. It's basically just stuff that she wrote out about particular themes, as in politics, the press, all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, 12 pieces never before collected that offer an illuminating glimpse into the mind and process of this legendary figure, which is Joan Didion, obviously. Mostly drawn from the earliest part of her astonishing 5-decade career, Didion writes about a gambler's anonymous meeting, a visit to William Randolph Hearst's castle at San Simeon, and on topics ranging from Nancy Reagan to Robert Mapplethorpe, Martha Stewart, and Ernest Hemingway. Some of these people I know, some of these people I don't know, but it's Joan Didion, so come on. So that's the books I'm currently still reading that I'm probably still going to be finishing within July. So yeah, this is probably a 3-star read. Non-fictions are usually not that much of a high rating for me. They're 3 stars are still enjoyable, by the way, for me. But yeah, this will probably be a 3-star. Who knows whatever happens. But like I said, if you really want to know what I give the books in the end, follow me on Goodreads. And then we're actually coming into the books that I've actually finished in July or started and finished in July. And the first one of that is Shark Heart by Emily Hayback. This was a weird one. I mean, enjoyable one. It was very enjoyable. And let me see, I gave it a 3 stars, and that is probably because I didn't want to stop reading the book, but it also wasn't very much like, yes, it's an amazing, and I want to, like, my God, keep reading. Like, the characters weren't really that interesting to me, but the whole story that they obviously lived through, that, you know, they're changing into animals, basically. It was just a very kind of different story than anything I've read before. So yeah, this is a pretty good one. And it's really confusing sometimes, but in the end, when you finish the book, you kind of know what happened, which is also weird. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I've always wanted to read this because it was just, I read the back of the book and it was a crazy idea, but yeah, it was actually a pretty good one. Pretty easy read too, because of the way it's like put on page. So yeah, a 3-star for me. Then my only romance one of this month is Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage, which is the last one in the Done and Dusted series of the Rebel Blue Ranch, I think it's called, the complete series. And yes, love this one. I think I gave it a 4-star, but let me check just to be sure. Oh no, I gave it a 3-star. Oh, I know. Usually I give it a 4-star is when, you know, I can't put a book down and I really want to know what happens in the story. What happens with them, basically. But with this one, I guess, it wasn't that I didn't want to know what happened next with them, but maybe it has something to do with the characters. As is, like, I really love the first book, and I love the banter and everything, but these are like second chance romance, I think it is, and I think it's a trope that just really not hooks me on that. Just like the second book in this series, like Swift and Settled, no, just wasn't for me. Like, I loved Done and Dusted. I loved Lost and Lassoed, I think the third one is. And then this, I love the fourth one. Trust me, I loved it. This is 3 stars. But it's just not as good as the other two in this series. And Swift and Settled, I think I gave it a 1 star. That really just took me a long time to get through, dude. Ugh. But yeah, I finished this one, and I finished the series, which is a good thing. I finished at least the series this month, which is good. And then this one was on my June TBR, which is obviously Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I've read Assassin's Blade, and then now I've read this one, and I gave this one a 4-star, which obviously I remember why I did it, because it's just so good. I love Selena. Amazing. I love her. I want to be her, especially because obviously I don't know, I think it's probably very cliche, but she was in the worst place ever that she could be, and then she got taken out to just do other stuff, and then she just, you know, builds herself back up, and she gets this relationship with these 2 people, which is obviously like a triangle kind of thing, but also isn't really, because I think she's more drawn to the prince. I don't remember the name of the prince in this story, but she's also obviously attracted or feels very close to Kale, who is the general, but in a different way. I don't know. I love Sarah J. Maas's writing. Obviously, I've read almost the entire series of Court of Thorns and Roses. I still have to read the 5th one, which is not the last one anymore. 6 and 7 are coming, guys. But yeah, no, I really, really love this one, and I can't wait to continue the series and just... I mean, I now know why people are loving this series, and I've only read the first 2. Depending on how you read and when you read Assassin's Blade, by the way. But I've read the first 2 now, which is great. I loved it. The other one, I technically finished it yesterday, this book, but the other one that I've read is Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent, which is basically 2.5 in a series, which is the series of The Serpent and the Wings of Nights. I think it's the Crowns of Nyxia series that it is. And they're basically like duets that make a series. And I've read the first duet, and then I've read another little novella, and then this is an actual full-on novel in that world, but it's 2.5 basically, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4 stars. Like, I finished, that's what I mean with my memory. Like, I finished it yesterday and I don't remember what I gave it. I'm horrible at that shit. Yeah, I gave it a 4 star. It's just the story itself, what they're like doing, what she is supposed to be doing with Selena, which is funny. Selena and Selena, written differently though, so that says something. But yeah, Selena and Selena. But no, Selena is an assassin, same as in Throne of Glass. Oh my god. But yeah, she's human and she's a blind assassin though, and then she has to kill this vampire prince thingy, but then obviously, you know, things happen. But it's done in a way that I'd say I haven't read that much before in fantasy. Obviously, you have the assassin, she has to kill someone, she doesn't because, you know, they fall in love and he isn't who, you know, she thought he would be. That kind of stuff has been done before, but I do find it interesting the way that she did it. Like, they actually just become friends, and it's not like immediately like romance in there. I mean, there's obviously the attraction and everything, and the story itself too. It's like it takes a pretty long while before they actually have a romantic stuff, and the story before that is still very interesting, because I'd say this is romantasy and it's supposed to be focusing on the romance, but it isn't, and it's just a really good read. I think I finished it in 3 days. Love. Really good to read, especially if you love the first duet and just love the world that this is happening in. It's really good to just read all the stuff in between, and I can't wait to start the second duet now that I've read all the other stuff that goes around the first duet basically. Yeah, very good. And then the last one that I've read in July, let me just get the rating first so that I can tell you guys, which is also me finishing a series, which is Fearful by Lauren Roberts, which is the last novella basically that belongs within this series. It's the 3.5 one. So it's basically, you read this after you finish the original trilogy within this series, and then you see a story of different people while book 3 was basically happening. And I really like it. You're basically following death. It's an interesting concept. I really liked it. Obviously, you know some of the characters, like Kit plays in it a lot, and then you have Maya, who is basically death, and then you also have Lenny and Blair, which you do get to see those characters in the original trilogy, but you don't really go into their thoughts and everything, and you do it in this novella, which is, it's fun. It's not like you need to read it, but it's really fun, and I gave it a 3 stars because I wanted to finish it. I would like the characters because some of the characters I already knew, and it was fun to just get more into their head. And the whole concept of like death being in it is kind of fun because we all knew that, you know, one of the characters in here already, you know, that happened in the last book of the trilogy, so you already know some things. I don't want to say too many spoilers in it, but yeah. It's really fun. pretty fun. And you kind of know what happens to the person that dies after he dies. Like, you kind of get a full-on ending for that character too, which is also nice actually. So yeah, that's pretty good. That was basically my July wrap-up. I don't know if that's a lot of books. For me, it's a lot of books that I've been reading. I've had my Goodreads goal is I think that I want to read 45 books for this year, and I'm on 28 right now. And it says that I'm 4 books ahead of schedule, so I just want to keep this going, and I have the time and the mindset to just do it. I do use a lot of audiobooks because the past couple of months, weeks, it's kind of hard for me to just sit down and read a book because my mind is so full of things that I have to do, need to be done, just are happening in my life. So yeah, that's kind of like hard. But that is, I guess, just the way it is. Okay, yeah, no, I've read 28 books so far this year, I'm sorry, wow. And then hopefully I'll make it 30 just this July with finishing these 2 books. Yeah, that was my July wrap-up. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of those books that I've read. Maybe you think completely different about something. I really would like to know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.